And we're live. What's up? All right. I hope everybody has enjoyed their weekend. Back at it this coming week. Ready to make some deals happen. I was on the call. We got a couple new DMI members, and really excited to have those folks on board. And also, was just talking to Curtis. I think we're going to try to get a deal makers weekend on the books. So reach out if you're interested in that. Um, and I'm actually speaking at a couple events, so I think I'll see some of y'all. So I'm speaking at an event in Denver next week. Speaking at an event in Bangkok, Thailand the following week, and then we'll probably do Asia for a little while. And then I'm speaking at an event. Can't remember where it is. Let me see if I can find it real quick. While folks get in here, be sure you like the video, pretty please. Uh, Definitely appreciate the love and the likes. And put any questions that you have. You can see today's topic. Anguilla. Anguilla, which is a Caribbean island. So that's a little retreat. All right, be sure to hit the like button. Let's see who's popping in here. We got Ink Weaver. What's up, homie? Says, hey, Ace. I don't think I've seen the name before. I would definitely remember it, I think. So appreciate you not just coming in, not just hitting the like button, but saying hello. That is much, much appreciated. I always say I feel like, wherever I am at that point, I'm basically welcoming you into my home, uh, and, hope to have a conversation more than just me speaking at you guys. Sigma Enigma. Now, on the other hand, I do know my man Sigma Enigma out in San Fran. Actually, I got to fly through San Fran, so I'm not sure how long the layover is. I don't know if it'll be a quick one or not, but my flight to Asia will go through San Fran. Let's see. All right, so y'all can start popping in questions. Let's talk about today's topic. So one of the things that we get to do, and this, comes to mind as we work with different DMI folks. One of the things that came up as we talked to folks is their apprehension about different things in business. So for some people, it's financials. Like, hey, I don't want to do anything that's like numbers heavy or finance heavy. I really just don't like having to deal with that. Or somebody who it doesn't like sales. I would say that that's probably number one. I think not wanting or being interested in sales is probably number one. And that's something that I'm not really interested in. I think it's probably one of the reasons that I don't go heavy into the coaching business. I really like doing deals. Like, I just don't want to be selling people every day. And so I think there are some specific things for those folks that aren't interested in sales that you can do. It's basically kind of four different things to be on the lookout for. And it's just great. It's great that somebody who's not interested in sales, there's some people just aren't interested in marketing. And we live in a day and time now where everything is sales, everything is marketing, because it's the nature of media. So everybody's the most aware that we've ever been of marketing in business. So you go for, just the thousands of years up until 2020, or not 2020, the 2000s, really, like once we start the internet, but more so probably 2005 as social media got more popular, and it just became more apparent. So before that, we would watch TV and we knew that there was marketing, but there wasn't this other angle to the marketing. There wasn't the angle of, hey, like, you can be doing this marketing too. You should be doing, like, it's almost like if everybody had a TV channel and everybody was supposed to be figuring out marketing. Well, because of that, we've got almost 100% of the focus. Like almost everybody is using social media on 5% of the reality of business. So you have 95% of business that's out there. They're not, we buy these businesses every day. We're just listed an $8 million business that doesn't do anything on social media. We just got a contract on selling a $1.5 million business that didn't have anything to do with marketing or, just like the today's day and age of that. So there's all these businesses that are out there, but the focus now for somebody who's interested in entrepreneurship or interested in owning their own business, once you go online, you get flooded with all of these things about, hey, you got to be good at marketing. And of course, the people that are good at marketing are marketing that to you to teach you how to do marketing. It's so funny because it really is like a pyramid scheme, but nobody realizes it. It's like, no, this is a marketing guy. He's marketing to you to convince you that marketing is the most important thing and that you've got to be able to do that if you want to be a business person. Well, the truth is that is not the case. When you look at, especially in our world, you look at a Blackstone, billions of dollars are being made. They're not doing any marketing and not worried about trying to get the most followers on Instagram. I have a company that's not making nearly as much money, but has more followers than Goldman Sachs has. We've owned a couple of different businesses. We had a watch business that had more followers than Goldman Sachs, but they're making a lot more money. And so what if you can kind of separate yourself, and it's so difficult because we're just bombarded with social media, you realize like, oh man, this is like 5% of business. 95% of business is being done, and there's just trillions and trillions of dollars that are moving around, and that stuff isn't necessary. And so that's really the first part of this. I think the first part when I'm dealing with somebody who doesn't want to have to market and sell and all that is to buy a business instead of starting from scratch. One of the benefits that you get when you're buying a business is really two things. Number one, if you're starting a business from scratch, you've got to figure out the sales. You've got to figure out the marketing. And so when you're doing both of those two things, you've got to test a bunch. So in order to figure out the system that works, you've got to be the person that is going out there, talking to a lot of people, getting feedback, trying a bunch of marketing, getting feedback, and then you figure out a system that works over time. So it has to be very intense on the front end. And so the first part of that is you get rid of all of that work by just buying a business that has already figured that out. The second part of that is find a business that's not only figured it out, but has been able to put somebody in place to do those things. So if they've figured out, they've done all the testing, they've done all the work on the front end, they've created the sales scripts, and they've trained somebody else to do those things, then that becomes a way that you can focus on other areas of the business. And so another part of this, and you could consider this kind of the third point, but the other part of this is you're looking for businesses where your strengths can be leveraged. And so what that means on the other side of that is you're looking for businesses that are already strong where you're weak. So if I'm going to go into a business, I want to be able to have an impact on that business using my experience, using my skill set. Obviously, we're in a unique position because we're also using the deals that are in our portfolio, but we're using that to filter out the deals that are right for us. And that's the opportunity that you have. And I think people don't actively use that. It's like you should be saying no to the deals that are going to require your weakness and saying yes to the deals that are already strong where you're weak and where you can go into that business and not just be good at it, but also enjoy it. It's like buying a business, the opportunity to be able to buy something that you're going to enjoy working on, which is huge. So that part of that is having the systems, everything in place. That should be a filter for the folks that are looking to generate the income and not have to worry about that. You want that the previous owner to be the person that was obsessed with marketing, obsessed with sales. And what typically happens, and this is really kind of the point number three, what happens when you're buying from that person that is the marketing and sales, like that's all they want to do is kind of be on the phone selling people. They usually are going to suck at the other areas of business. They're going to suck at operations, and so all of that's going to be in the uproar. They're usually not going to be as good at organizing. They're not going to be as good at the financials. All the other aspects of the business are where you can go in and fix those things and improve it, because they usually are spending all their time in that world. And then the last point is having all of those things systemized. So not just the systems and scripts on the marketing and all that, but one of the reasons that I like franchises is that the marketing and sales is already dialed in. The marketing and sales is already figured out. You don't have to try to figure that out. But I like buying the existing ones because that business has proven that not only has the franchisor figured it out, but it's working and it's making money, and I can buy it at this multiple. So kind of that fourth point is making sure that those systems are tight so that you're not coming in and having to change them. And so, even if there is an employee that's working in those areas of the business, you want to make sure that there's a system for replacing that employee. So even if that employee leaves, you don't want to now be the owner who's stuck doing the work of the person that just left. Those are kind of the unique things that you've got the ability to do. And so it's such an important point to know whether you're on the other side of this. You're like, hey, all I love is sales and marketing. You want to find the business that has that. The person that doesn't want to fool with sales and marketing, it's succeeding in spite of itself, but it's great when it comes to the operations. It's amazing when it comes to all the systems, the finances, and all that is in order. They've got all those systems in place, and then you can go to the other side. So this still is the same advice works literally for the other side. For the people that are the opposite of the folks that don't want to have to deal with sales and marketing. All right, let's go to some of y'all's questions. I know it is a Sunday evening. Hopefully, y'all are getting ready for the weekend. Your weekend has been awesome. All right, what we got to see. All right, here's a question. How would you best recommend getting into and learning more about private equity? So there are a couple ways. I definitely recommend kind of reading the stories of other people that got into private equity. So some of my favorite books are Steve Schwarzman's books. He's got a biography that's about him, but then there's also just a book that's more about Blackstone. KKR would be another one. And so when you read those books, one of the paths is to work for an investment bank, learn about private equity from that perspective, and then go into a private equity firm. The other route that a lot of people will go is just start at the bottom at a private equity firm and work your way up. I personally am a big fan of our incubator. So we help people incubate their first fund, walk them through that process, and then that gives them the track record. Because the biggest thing you don't have, the reason you've got to go work for somebody else, is that you don't have a track record. And so what we're building and what we're giving people with our incubator is that track record. So if you're interested in that, you can go to acechapman.com. And we actually just had our first conversation with somebody who's a candidate for the next incubator. And so that has been fun to get rolling again. Don't forget to like as y'all pop in. Thanks so much for popping in. He says, agreed. I just want to tell people, hey, do this, take it or leave it. Exactly. Kyle V in the CV. What's up, Kyle? Kyle asks, what do you get out of this? Why are you telling people how to make six figures in financial gain and without financial gain for yourself? Name a book, How I Became Wealthy by Doing This. So I do have books. I don't do anything free. This channel makes money. So yeah, I have two books. One is the Ace Formula. The other is the Infinite Returns book that's available to the Patreon folks. So no, like I am about making money. So this isn't a big priority. It's not like, it doesn't, we don't make a ton of money here, but I get to do deals with the people that become my clients, and that does make a lot of money. So this channel, probably a good thing would be to go back through the channel and see more what we do. But we do a lot with some of the folks that have been here. And I just did interviews with some of those people. So check out the last two interviews for more insight there, Kyle. All right. So, but how would I buy a business, period, let alone one like that, if I'm living paycheck to paycheck currently? So I talk a lot about that. I would go again, like I said, I know you're new here, so I want to welcome you. But yeah, like there are a lot of no money down deals. I've done plenty of no money down deals. There's other things where it's not so much a no money down deals, just consulting for equity that I talk about. So, we do a lot of those with clients where they've got more time than money. You got to have one or the other. So you either got to be able to invest time or you got to be able to invest money. If you don't have both, then you're doing life wrong. Because as just a human, you should be managing your life in a way where okay, right now things suck. I'm really hustling, so I'm don't have as much money, but all my time is going to hustle. I'm figuring out how to do deals, how to make more cash, save that cash. I'm not spending any cash. Sometimes people have made mistakes in the past, and then you've got to take that period to make up for those mistakes, like going in debt. Unfortunately, a lot of people make the mistake of taking on a lot of college debt. That becomes a noose around people's neck and an anchor they can't get out of. So these are all the things that you have to take. It's just an individual type of thing, but doing no money down deals is something that, we've got just on record doing a bunch of times. We got Angela jumps in. Speaking of clients, Angie is one of our general partners in the most recent fund that we launched. New York Engineer says, "What it takes." Yes, what it takes. That's the other one. I couldn't think of the name. Thanks, New York Engineer. Definitely check that one out. That's the other. I was trying to think of the non-Blackstone focused Steve Schwarzman book. Chrome Clapper, what's up? A great way to get in by consulting for equity. No money to get it. Yeah, so a great way to do these deals is consulting for equity. It's really the number one thing that I encourage people to do when we're doing good merger deals. We've got a brokerage, and I really encourage our brokers that we're doing deals. We'll take a little bit of equity. We may even invest in the deals. But if you're brokering a deal, instead of taking all cash for your commission, you can take some equity there. There's so much. But thanks, Chrome Clapper. So he's saying that's a great way to get no money down. You get a piece of the company for your expertise if you can solve an issue. Sigma Enigma says, how would one pitch potential equity deals to you? I have the time and fundamentals. I am lacking the support team. So one of the things is just to get into the realm, especially when we're working on deals that are in good merger. Becoming a good merger client is a good way. Like if you're looking at buying deals, in some cases, I'm investing in those deals, and so especially if you're an operator, then we'd love to hear from you. So yeah, reach out, check out Good Merger, reach out to one of the brokers, and basically say, hey, I'm definitely interested in doing a deal if Ace is participating. And then I talk, if you're not a Patreon member, and there I'm talking to several folks. Actually, this first candidate that we just interviewed for the next fund incubator. By the way, for the folks that are new, with the fund incubator, I invest my own cash. So I invest some of my money along with the other GPs, and we go out and get LPs and in those deals. So I do those deals along with the GPs in the incubator. And this is a great one to end on. Thank you for your time, by the way. Thank y'all for y'all's time. Hopefully those 4 points were very valuable. Go out and do deals. This is just, I'm telling y'all, this is the best time I've ever seen to be getting deals done. There's just never been a better time. I'll take one more because New York engineer, you're a faithful one. You're always popping in. So I definitely want to take your question. Let's see. It says, what are your favorite types of businesses to buy? Right now, it's franchises. Basically, I want deals that are easy to get financing on. Banks love financing franchise, especially if you're picking the right ones. I want to be able to run something. Like at the beginning of this call, I'm out of the country right now. Come to Denver for a few days. Go speak in Asia, then speak in Caribbean. I don't have time to deal with a bunch of headaches in a business. And so franchises do the best job of not just making sure the business has all the systems, has everything that it needs to operate today, but they have a team of people that are making sure that in the future it's going to work as well. And so it's just the for people that are looking to build a portfolio, and then the low part of the final piece would just be the low failure rate. I'm not trying to lose money. It's not like I need to take major risks. And so you can still get this amazing return without having the big downside. I think people have this weird ego thing. Like it's funny. Somebody asked like, well, why am I doing this? It's like, no, I want to make money. Like I'm not here for ego. I'm not trying to start an entrepreneur business. Also, I'm not trying to be, even time back to the social media thing. I'm not trying to be the biggest social media person. It's like when I'm working, I'm trying to make the best decision as far as what's going to give me the best ROI. And your ROI gets killed if you buy some internet business that goes out of business instantly, or some other business that was started by an entrepreneur. So I can go into something where the franchise has a 98% success rate. That at least protects my principal. And so a big part of getting it, and this becomes a perspective even for funds, a big part of getting a good ROI is not losing money. It's also why I don't invest a ton. I invest in the stock market. I have some strategies there that I enjoy, but I'm not trying to make that my focus because I don't like losing principal. I don't like losing my money. So I'm looking for things that have, the reason that franchises are kind of the focus right now is that you have this huge upside where you can still buy something at 2-3 multiple, get these outrageous returns. Basically 50%, and you get the financing. And then the final piece is you have a lot of baby boomers that are selling them. So those are the reasons behind it. But, it's for me, this has been the same thing from the very beginning. When I bought, my very first business 20 years ago, it was shocking to me that nobody ever told me that was a possibility. Just kind of lucked into it. And then I was like, wait a minute, why aren't more people just buying their income instead of trying to build it from scratch? But I think a lot of it is just ego. Like people want to feel like, oh no, like I did this thing. I'm not going to go and just make money from somebody else's thing that they created. It's like, I want you to create it, build those systems, deal with all that headache. No ego here. All right, folks, have a good night. Thank y'all for popping in. Yes, I just try to do what makes sense. All right. Let's see. Be sure to like, be sure to subscribe, check out the Patreon. And if you didn't, I see got a couple more questions coming in. If you didn't get to ask, be sure to put in the comments. I try to get to those as well. I'll take these last things. New York Engineer says makes sense. And Chrome Clapper says thanks, Ace. Have a great night, everybody.